test, test. What's up, guys? Welcome to today's class. Super excited to be hanging out with you guys today. We're going to be going over a really fun haircut. This is definitely a trending cut, so if you guys have questions, make sure you post them in the chat. Type Q, put in your question. That's all you have to do. Hit that Q button. Let me see if I can show you guys how to do it. Visuals are always better for us, right? So type Q, put in your question. That way, through the chat, I can see it. Oh my God, my comb has been shipped. Jess, yes. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Christina's office is full of packages right now. She looks like Santa Claus. Our TriRazor started shipping yesterday, so pending post office delays, you guys should be getting it. What's up, Peach from Philly? We're neighbors. So good to see you guys. Again, post Q, put your question. That way I can see it in the chat. There's a lot of people in here on all different platforms. I get to see the chat throughout all the platforms. So even if it looks like there's not a lot of people on the platform that you're currently on, they could be somewhere else. So check us out on YouTube, Facebook. We're also live on Minerva Beauty's Facebook as well. Let me make this go away. So if you guys don't know Minerva Beauty, they are my good friends. They sell salon furniture and tools. They fitted our whole salon with beautiful furniture. If you guys want to check it out, go to salongratitude.com. Don't book an appointment with me. I don't take new customers, but you can book with any of our staff. Also, check out the beautiful furniture that Minerva provided for us. Also, here's another thing. Yeah, good song, good song. Here's another thing. Minerva Beauty has huge sales going on. I just sent out an email yesterday. They have color bars now so you guys can organize your color. If you're looking to upgrade your salon furniture, check out Minerva Beauty. They've been supporting free salon education since the beginning. They're one of our biggest supporters, and I really appreciate them. They are my friends. I love everybody that works there, and they have such good deals going on. So check out minervabeauty.com. We're also live on their Facebook today. And really the biggest reason why we consistently do this every single Tuesday, because I'm not the most consistent person. So thank you, Minerva Beauty. If anything, even if you don't buy furniture right now, go check out their Instagram because they have beautiful, I've probably said beautiful. We can make that a drinking game at this point. Let me show you Minerva Beauty's Instagram real quick before we get started, because if you have no idea what the current trends are in salons and what they look like, this is one of my favorite things to do because they post a lot of their customers' images of their salons. So take a look. And this isn't like, I'm not talking 12 chair salons. A lot of us out there, we work by ourselves. We work in a studio. We work with 4 people, not always 20 people. They do everything, but take a look at the ideas that you can get. See if it'll focus in. There you go. And look at that. Look at that beautiful salon. Look at that one. Jealous. So look at this, just ideas, and then you can click and shop. So it's a pretty simple way to check out Minerva Beauty on the interwebs on Instagram. So there you go. So just beautiful salon ideas. And it's one of my favorite things to go on there. Just look at how people design stuff, how they color scheme, and it'll give you guys some ideas as well. Kind of like walking through IKEA, you know, you're in there just trying to buy a fork or something, and you buy a couch because you see how cool it looks. So there you go. All right, Long Beach, California, what's up? Let me know in the chat where you guys are watching currently. I love seeing that. And make sure you share this show with all of your friends out there. If you don't say one word in the chat, just hit the share button. That's all I ask for, because that's how we spread the love of this show. Now, if you're new to the show, type new in the chat. And if you're an OG, you've been watching this for a while, type OG in the chat. I love seeing all of you guys in there. And it's cool because I get to see and start to recognize some names and faces and everything throughout the chat. So definitely get involved. It's more fun that way. All right. Today, we are going to be cutting. I got to catch my breath. Talk too much. All right. Today, we're going to be cutting a pretty popular haircut. I've been seeing it all over the place. It's not really that this haircut is complicated, but it is uniquely messy. And consistently throughout the TikTok culture and what I've seen from male TikTok influencers is that they're all kind of wearing this very similar haircut. So I want to walk you guys through my version of that. It's going to be really fun. If you have questions as we go, remember, type Q and put your question. That's what this is all about. Ashley, awesome. I'm glad you're on the live. Not new to your Facebook, but new to the live. Very cool. Levittown, PA, right down the road. Very cool, Robin. Jonathan, India, not right down the road. Thanks for watching. It was super cool because me and Christina, so our TriRazor, this is our new tool that started shipping yesterday. Let me see. I'm in black clothes and this is dark. But TriRazor, actually, look at this. Pop. Yeah, so this is the TriRazor. It's our new razor tool, just started shipping yesterday worldwide, and me and Christina packed up tons of packages last night, and it was crazy. I came in today to see how many are going out in the mail today, and the reason I'm telling you guys this is because we were talking last night. We haven't been able to ship worldwide any products that we've been selling because of distribution rights and all that stuff, and we've had a worldwide audience forever, so it's really cool that now we have our own tool and we can sell it worldwide. And last night, Christina was here for 8 hours straight packing packages for you guys. And, we were talking when she got home finally that all the places that we're shipping them to. So it's literally all over the world. So thank you guys so much, all of you guys who have ordered one. If you haven't, you can go to Shop FSE, get your order in. It's no longer pre-order, it's now shipping. So, I'm excited for all of you guys to have it in your hands, cutting hair with it, having fun. I'm going to do some of the haircut today with it as well, so you can learn how to use it. And, I'm just excited to see what you guys create with it and share it. So thank you, Anise. I really appreciate that. All right, guys, cool. So let's go over. I think I got all the stuff out of the way here. Let's go over to the mannequin. So I want to talk about, actually, before I do that, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I got to show you guys what we're cutting today. So this kid, his name is Jacob Sartorius, I believe. I don't really know because I don't really get too involved in TikTok at this moment. Probably should more. I'm working on that. That's my 2021 goal. But Jacob Sartorius is one of the most popular male influencers on TikTok. This haircut is very popular. So I'm going to show you guys, this is the first picture. Cool kid. I actually think he might be older than I think he is. I'm just getting old, so there we go. But I don't have no idea how old he is. But this haircut, although looks kind of just messy, I love the disconnection of it. I love the texture in it. So that's kind of what we're going to walk through today. Let me show you a couple other versions of it. And if you guys know who he is, let me know in the chat. I'm sure you do, or your kids do. Here's the next one. Again, messy. So, I mean, it's kind of similar. He's got a little bit wavier hair than I do, but it's just kind of a messy top with disconnection. But I'm going to show you guys some strategies to creating that. And then also when we go through the style, it looks like he didn't style this, but I know he did. So, you know, well, I don't know if he did in this moment, but he definitely did. My phone's ringing. There we go. So here we go. Now, Jacob, here's one more picture of him. And this is one thing I want you guys to kind of realize is when a client brings in a picture of a style and you're going through it, I think that one of the best things to do is just bring up multiple. Yeah, I know. Keep calling. Is to bring up multiple images of the same person, because what might happen and what I've found can happen is when somebody says, oh, I want the Jacob Sartorius haircut, we go and look at one picture, or we might pull up an old picture, and you want to try to find the most current. So going to Instagram is usually the best idea, because then you can figure out. For me, I kind of looked up what this TikTok hairstyle was, and I wanted to look at it on a few different people so I could see kind of an average style of it, not necessarily just, you know, the one way of doing it. So where is he from? He's from TikTok. So he's a musician at this point. I don't know if he was a musician at the beginning. This is not a tutorial about who he is. It's about his haircut, and I know he's popular. You can look him up for sure, and he does music on TikTok. Okay, I'm going to let's close this out. So this is the haircut that we're going to create today. Super simple. I'm going to show you guys how to go through it step by step, and we're going to have some fun creating it. So let me go right here. I'm going to grab up some So who's excited to watch this cut? Let me know in the chat. Let me see your favorite emoji. California, cool. What's up, Akshay? Good to see you. All right, guys, I'm just formatting a card real quick so we can. Here's one thing about this. This is a class format, so this will be a little bit longer class. If you guys like the shorter tutorials, this will be out as a tutorial as well. The whole reason I do these lives is I also record them for YouTube so I can break it up and make it smaller. But I like being on here live so I can answer your guys' questions. So that's kind of the most important part of this whole experience, is to get involved in the chat. All right, almost ready. Here we go. Cool. Washington, Texas. All right, recording. All right, ready to roll. Okay, so to start this off, I sectioned it. And the way that I sectioned it off was just to really focus on that parietal ridge area. Now, he has quite a bit of disconnection, and that disconnection sits pretty low. So let me throw on his photo one more time right here. So zoom in to where I sectioned off. So you can see on his how it sits. So his hair kind of comes over to this side, over this way. Now, that doesn't mean that this is actually sitting lower. It's disconnected underneath. So I wanted to find that ridge, and then you go just a little bit below the parietal ridge. So right here, I can see the comb coming off. So as it kind of tilts up a little bit, this is where my parietal ridge area is. So I go slightly below that. I want that weight sitting there. And then everything underneath, we're going to take shorter. So you can do this a couple different ways. You can cut it using a razor, which I kind of like. And some of these TikTok influencers, what they're wearing in this haircut, they wear it a little bit kind of shaggier through the bottom. His is a little bit tighter, so you could do it either with a clipper or you can do it with a razor. Today, I'm going to do it with a razor and take it nice and short still, but show you guys how to do that. So I'll spray it down a little bit. And we're going to take vertical sections. Take his... I should probably show you guys how to do those highlights too. We'll see where we're at with time. Probably a different day, but okay. So we got the TriRazor here. Now we've got the 100% cutting side, and you've got two texture sides. You got texture 25, texture 50, depending on how much texture you want to create. We'll do these two sides up top, and this will be how we cut the bottom in a more precise way. So first things first, we take and comb. Now, let me see where I can show you guys the best view. Cool. So I'm going to work slight diagonal back. Grab the hair, slight diagonal back section, bring it out to me, and I'm going to go real close to the head. Scoop under. So I'll go close to the head, and then I've got my 100% side, and I'm just going to slide and cut. And you can see how that just takes and creates a nice line. I'm going to do the same thing right next to it. Bring that hair in. Comb it up towards me. Like this. Now I've got my 100%. I just slide down. So we're creating a slight textured effect, but still very precise throughout the cut. Hello, Beverly from Mississippi. Becca from Utah. Good to see you guys. I'll bring the hair in. And I really want to do this in a salon kind of reality pace for you guys so you can see how quick this cut can happen. So I'll just work through it nice and fast. Wonder if this will be a better angle for you guys. Let's see. So still working on that diagonal back. Slide. Just works right through it. And I like it because I can visually see everything that I'm doing. So being able to create those lines in there while still holding the hair kind of away from the head is awesome. Jessica from Paul Mitchell to School, Huntsville. What's up, Jessica? Hopefully the TriRazor will be available in Paul Mitchell to School kits someday, right? All right, so look, I see my guide right there, and I just draw my line. After that, you pause, you recomb, and you continue working that line. Now, I just want to make sure that this hair is right above the section so I don't get too much over direction and I'm not creating extra weight. This is also great for a pixie cut. So those of you guys that might be thinking that right now, you are correct. You want to create some short women's cuts with some texture. It's a great way to do it. Diagonal back. Now I'm going to go a little bit away from the scalp now because I want to start to build up weight. So if you look at right here, right in this area towards the top of the crown, I'm not going to go up into the head. Because if I go up in, I'm going to take out that weight, it's going to get flat. I want to start building a nice little kind of curve in the crown. So still bringing everything straight out, but cutting it a little bit longer. There we go. What type of razor blades? So let me show you guys the blade that I'm using. So this is the blade that goes in right here. And you can buy TriRazor blades on our website. We have limited quantities of the blades for like the next 20 days, but we will have more coming in. And you get blades with your order. So you'll get five in a box plus the 3 that are in it. So it comes with 3 inside. So you can see right here, and this thing's $44. So cheap, right? Not too expensive. Right there, average razor cost. And you can see the 3 blades go in it. And then you put it right back together. Snap it in. Oh, there we go. Snap it in. And then you put the top on, snap that in, and you're good to go. You got all 3 blades in there. Down. So now there's a buildup of weight happening right here in the crown. That's all from changing my finger angle, just cutting a little bit longer. Working my way through. Let me get back to Salon pace here. So see that length. All right, now we're going to go to the opposite side here. And we're going to start working backwards to connect the 2 sides. I just sprayed him in the face because I was reading your guys' comments, and then I just looked at him and I was like, whoops, don't do that. Don't do that to your people. All right, so diagonal back. I'm going to bring this hairline piece in later. Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate that. Pull that hair back. See how I can get best view for you guys. Here we go. Just slide through. Diagonal back. We just continue diagonal back until we meet that opposite side. My hand in the way, guys. Sorry about that. Almost there. So now we're starting to work into both sides as I comb backwards. Just don't want to get in your way, but I got to. I just see my guide underneath, and then I slide and cut through. So imagine the ease of being able to cut face frame or anything like that, where you just kind of slide through. So here, now I'll show you guys. So now I'm connecting both sides. So as I get over here, as I get into this area, I'm still taking those diagonal back sections through here. So diagonal back. So when I grab up the hair, I'm actually going to see the previously cut side in my fingers. So I'm just sliding through and connecting those two sides together. So here, slide and connect. Same thing. There's just like that tiny bit of hair connecting the two together. So now, the way that we cut this, we created a nice little buildup of weight within the haircut. We also have this kind of fringy outer perimeter, which we can cut into. So we can pinch and cut. You can also go through with your scissor and cut, or your trimmer and cut. However you like the look to be. I like a little more kind of free feel to it. I am going to go around, blow dry this real quick, and do some detail work with a scissor around the edges. So I like to combine both tools. All right, so now we're going to blow it dry. I'm going to work this back and forth. Here we go. All right. So now that I got them dry, I'm going to take and work through with my comb and just do a little bit of detailing throughout this cut. So I'll just look at little things like where the razor, I don't want to take away inconsistencies because I love that textured effect that the razor gives, but just adding in some kind of details around the edges, around the ear, all of that stuff. So right in here, I'll just go right through and around the ear. I want it to be over the ear because I still want to create that texture, but it doesn't need to be so far over the ear, right? So just kind of clean that up. And then I'm going to create a little more of a sideburn. Obviously this you could kind of blend into their facial hair if you wanted to, depending on if they're 12 or not. Like the guy he's probably not 12. So working through around the ear. And again, right here, just kind of work up. That's about it. So you get this kind of cleaner appearance, but then the texture within the inside. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side here. So I'll work slight diagonal back, little scissor over comb. Now I'm going to work around the ear. Take this a little tighter right here. Again, I don't want to affect the texture, so I'm not trying to go too crazy. And then this little buildup of weight here in the back, that was the key right there. You don't want this to be flat against his head and then have that disconnect. You want to build it up a little bit. And then as we kind of build into this disconnect on the top, start cutting the top a little bit shorter, it's totally fine because you still aren't taking away the shape of the head. I don't know what Jacob, the kid that we're kind of mimicking with the haircut today, I don't know what the back of his head looks like. But for me, if I was doing this on a client, I would not want the back of the head to be flat at all or to show too much disconnection. To me, that's when this haircut kind of turns more just, I don't want to say amateur-ish, but it just doesn't really have a put-together feel to it. And even though you're working disconnection, you still want it to have kind of a put-together feel. All right. So now I'm going to let this top down. Nice and long with that wave. And I'm going to comb everything forward. Now, most likely, your client will not have this long of a top. If they do, then, you can try to keep it out of their face, but he's not real, so I'm just going to comb it all forward. Now we're going to work across the top. I want to show you guys over here. Let me zoom in here as we work across. So the sectioning that we had was kind of like this. So we had this kind of U-shaped section around the top. So this is that back portion of the crown that it gets a little bit longer. All we're working on is this now front area, and it goes into that parietal ridge. So you shouldn't really see too much of your section. If you look over top, you shouldn't see much of your partings. Your partings should not be in here tighter. That means they're not on the under the parietal ridge. Parietal ridge is that curve, right, that happens. So now that I'm here, I take my parting, right? So my initial parting is going to be straight down the center. And I'm going to cut my guide for the length that I want the middle to be. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build off of that, and we're going to do a traveling guide all the way across the top. Just like this. And all of it is going to be elevated straight up. So we're going to do that through both sides. Like that. So this is our center line. Now I'm going to bring my center line to the new section, right? So I'll bring this one over to this point, and then I'll bring this section over to this one, this section over to that one. So I'm traveling, but by moving the guide across to the edge. What that's going to do is give me a consistency across the top on my horizontal and my vertical line, and then also disconnection based on my elevation and the length compared to the sides. So here again. So we'll call this section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. 2, 3, 4, 5. Those will all be the same. I'm going to bring section 1 basically to 1.5. And then I'm going to bring section 2 to 2.5, 3 to 3.5. That way I'm not over directing it too much, and I get a consistency throughout the top, if that makes sense, hopefully. And Jess, I see your question. Yes, I do use this board in class. So Virtual Cutting Club, if you guys don't know about it, I meet with hairdressers every Monday. We're part of a club. It's $50 a month. It's a subscription-based model, and we cut hair over Zoom together. And then so we do it together. We do haircuts together. This week we focused on all different popular fringes of 2020. We cut them together. And then you go on our app and you get a blue check mark that says that you train with me. So everybody that's watching out there that maybe is not a hairdresser and you're looking for a new stylist and you want somebody that trains with me, then just type in your zip code. And if you see somebody with a blue check mark, it means they're part of my Virtual Cutting Club, and you should go get your hair cut by them. So, all right, here we go. We're going to work through the top. Like I said, we got a vertical section through the top. So I'm going to take that all the way across. And I think the key thing for me in this cut, I'm going to try to stay out of your way, is to pick the right length for the top. That's really, for me, the most important. So you want to start off, you want to make sure we're going to cut this entire line through the top. First, make sure that our length seems good, and then we will move forward with the rest. So right there. Now let me take another line right next to it. Want it to be pretty thin. It's pretty good. There. No more than my finger width apart. Actually take a little. There we go. All right. gonna clip a little bit here. Okay, so now we're gonna work from this point, and we're gonna work a straight line across the top, just like this. Oh, let me back out a little bit. So we are gonna work a straight line across the top, just like this. And what's gonna happen is the head starts to curve down. And when the head curves down, that means I'm pulling hair from a longer point to get to this line. And when you do that, you start to create a little extra length. So through the top, I'm not trying to create a ton of length here, because now we're gonna create this horizontal line that comes across this way as well. And if we do that, I don't want this disconnect to be too extreme with the sides, right? So we wanna create disconnect, but we don't want it to be too much. So picking the right length makes the most sense here. So I come up, I've got this hair in my hand, no guide. I'm not worried about the guide right here because I don't want to connect it fully to this. I just want it to disconnect over top of it. So right here, and if I need to blend that a little bit later, I can. So I'm going to go here, take a little bit less hair, comb the hair up. Come on, guy. Come on. So right there, and then I'm going to work my line across. I'll pick up a little bit more hair and continue that line across. And I'm just going to walk across the top of the head. And what's going to happen is that hair that started shorter here, it's pretty short, gets longer and longer. And our goal is for it not to get too long by the time it gets to the front. Because you want that texture in there, but you don't need a ton of length. So look, when I let this go, how long this already is. It's already at his nose. You can see. So that line across gets super long because of the forehead in the front. But this is going to give us a ton of hair to kind of play with in that style at the end. So now I'm going to continue through this side, taking those vertical sections. Hit the overhead. Let me brighten this up a little bit. There we go. All right. So I comb the hair forward. And now I'm going to pull, I'm going to drop. There we go. I'm going to pull this guide over to the new section. You should see the guide diffuse just slightly. That's when you know you got it in the right spot. All right. How would you hold the / cut the top if you were to use a razor instead of shears? It's a great question. So if I was going to use the razor, which I'm going to use the razor to do some texturizing on the top of this, but if I was going to use the razor to cut, I would hold it like, let me show you. Let me grab my section first. We'll go right over where it lives. I would go a little bit past that, and then I would slide the razor. So let me show you actually. So comb the hair up like this. It's over top of where it lives. Go past that, I see the guide, and then I can just come in here and I can actually slide straight across that section. That creates a nice line all the way across. Then I pick up, bring it over top where that section is, and then I slide across. For me, I like using the scissor at this point because I like to create that precision line and then go through and create the texture after. But if you want to just create a textured line right away, you can totally do that as well. So that's one section with the razor. So we're getting close to this parietal ridge area. Above where it lives, cut across. All right, couple more. Tilt the head towards me just a little bit. And you just want to make sure that this hair here is coming straight over that parting. That's the key. And the rest of this hair, all this will fall out of the section when you push it over. And last one. All right. Now I'm just going to make sure, check the back. See a couple little. That looks cool. All right. So let me flip to the side camera. And so you guys can see how this kind of, the texture in the cut is already building up, and then it gets longer into the front. And a lot of times when we see that length in the front, we always think, well, I should start over directing it so I can create it. But when you start over directing too much, you get way too much length in the front. So now I'm going to do the same thing, opposite side. We're going to do it real quick. The guide will come from the center to start us, and then it'll travel across. And remember, that center is going to come back to the new section. Here it is, got the new section. Part everything over. Comb it up into my hand, and then bring that center towards me. Take some of that away. Towards me, like this, over top of the section. So up, bring the guide over. So if you bring the new hair over to the guide, what do you think is going to happen? Think about that. If I take a new section and I bring it back over, let's see if I can hide this. Don't need that. If I take the new section that I took and I bring it to the guide, I'm pulling it away from where it lives and bringing it to a place to cut it. So anytime you take something and take it somewhere, it's going to have a longer way to get. So it's going to be a longer section. And if I do that every single time, working my way over, by the time I get to the edge, the hair is going to be super long. And I want a disconnect, but I don't want a really long disconnect in this cut. So you got to be careful and make sure you bring that guide over and let the section live basically on top of the parting, maybe not quite. So you get yourself consistent length all the way through. All right, almost there. A couple more sections. This is a good point to show you guys here that here's the disconnect, and this hair is coming straight up. I comb the guide towards it. Grab a little more guide. Bring this guide towards the section, but that section is still straight over top where it lives. One more. And I'll finalize the back a little bit. Bring that straight up. So now I'm going to go back to the razor. So now we've got our front. We've got all these layers created in here. This hairstyle is going to be worn pretty messy up in the front like that. So it'll have a ton of texture in there. It's disconnected from the sides, but it gets pushed forward just a little bit. So now I'm just going to go in and with some of these pieces, add in just a little bit of air, a little bit of texture into it. So I'll grab little bits like this, and I'll just kind of work the razor through the front. So just like that, pinch some little pieces and work through it. So I'll work my hands in there, see where it, falls and where it falls a little bit longer than I want it to. Cut into it. Pieces. All right, it's turning into something now. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do at this point. I'm gonna blow it dry again, and this time everything's gonna get blown dry forward. See you later, Lynn. Merry Christmas. So all this gets blown dry forward. And then the top I'm actually going to diffuse into it. So I'm going to add a little bit of texture paste to it. I also want to show you guys how I'm going to texturize this to just add a little bit more movement to the cut. So one of my favorite things to do here, let me blow dry first and finish the smoothing the top. So I'll just flat wrap it back and forth. Okay, so this is super fun, this technique here. Just grab a little. So what I'm going to do is I've got my dry cutting Velcro clip here. And I'm going to section through the top. So we created this really nice kind of even line throughout the top of the haircut. So now what I want to do is just go in and add a little bit of texture to it. So this is a really fun texturizing technique. I'll slide my Velcro clip in so you guys can see. Just holds that nice and steady. You can get those on our shop as well. And then I take my 25% texture side. Zoom in. Let me tilt forward so you guys can see. So right here, and I take this 25 texture side and I just put it against the scalp and I cut into the hair just a little bit. What that does is it removes the tiniest bit of hair from the haircut, but it'll start to add space to it and movement to it. So I can go through, I can do that wherever I want. You can even do it down on the hair a little bit if you want to, so you don't have to go right at the scalp. If they have a little bit thinner hair and you don't want to take out too much, you want to create some extra volume in the haircut, you can do it with that as well. Just go underneath it and just take out, because those little hairs that are in there help prop up this whole bit, this whole part of the haircut. So take the Velcro clip out. I'm going to work through again. I like to do a diagonal line when I do this because it creates a little bit softer effect. Push this up, slide Velcro clip in, gives me the nice parting. I'm just going to go in 25 here and just slide through. There you go. You can see creates little gaps, little bits of movement, smaller pieces of hair throughout, and adds a lot of texture. We'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So diagonal forward, comb the hair up, slide the clip in. And then right here, slide down, hit 25% out. Same thing. Now, obviously, if they have super thin hair, you got to be careful doing things like that. If it's medium and you just want to create some texture, I recommend going a little bit further down on the hair shaft, doing that. If they have really thick hair, go right to the scalp with the 25% texture side, because that, you know, it's not going to remove all the hair, but it will create a ton of texture and movement. Now, you can also do this around the hairline as well. So let's say we go in here and I just want to take out and work somebody's hairline a little bit. I can just slide in and take out some hair there, depending if it's longer hair. Obviously, shorter hair, you might not want to do that. You could do a little bit texturizing with your scissor or something like that. But with this length here, it creates a really nice kind of flow to it, especially if it was even a little bit longer than that. We can do the same thing in the back here. Comb this hair down, slide in. It looks scarier than it is because this is barely showing much blade in there. So that lighter piece throughout is the amount of blade that's showing. Obviously, this is a little scarier when you have here. This is for somebody with super thick hair, longer hair. You want to go in and really remove. I did a video on that. It's great for dry cutting because it exposes a ton of blade. So like when you cut longer dry hair, you cut right through it. And then this, obviously, all the hair gets fed in, so 100% of it's going to cut. So you don't want to go in with that side and cut through it. So that 25, the texture 25 side is perfect for all of that cutting. Okay. And you can get it. So Yvonne is saying, where can you get it? You can get it on Shop FSE, which is our online store. All right, so now to kind of finalize this haircut for you guys, what I'll do is I'm going to wet it slightly in the front because it's got more of a wave to it. So I want to diffuse. And it really doesn't feel like it has a lot of product to it. So let me pull up the style. Those of you guys that are just tuning in here, let me pull up what we've been working on right here. I'll put another version of it up too. All right, so here we go. Make it a little smaller. There it is. So a couple different versions. You can see he wears it different ways. I really don't think, there's a big rhyme or reason to how he's choosing to wear this, nor do I even know if he really does a lot of prep work to style it. But if you, want it to have a little bit more rhyme and reason to it, then here's what I would suggest. So I added a little bit of moisture to it. Obviously, this could just be like a right out of the shower thing. Then I'm going to add a little bit of Maverick dry paste to the hairstyle here. That'll give me just a tiny bit of hold. And I'm going to scrunch that in. So I'll really kind of work it into my hands first. And then I'll start scrunching it and working it through the front. So you can see how it starts to create a little separation with the pieces. So, but it doesn't make the hair wet looking. So as we start to diffuse this, it'll look even cooler. So there we go. Disconnection in the back. Pieces through the front. And what I've noticed with not just this kid and how he's wearing his hair, but some of the other TikTokers, they have this similar hairstyle. And what they do is it's longer on the sides like this, so it has a little more realistic feel to it. And when they style it, they push this forward, and this kind of lives forward, which is what I like when I see this cut, and what I think makes it kind of have a more lived in appearance to it. Like this kid is pretty clean cut through the sides. And for me, if you're going to wear this messy, I kind of like that it looks like it was all messy kind of on purpose. So this would be my version. Like if I was going to cut any of those kids' hair, obviously this is kind of how I would do it. And now let me diffuse it a little bit. This is just to kind of finalize the style, add a little bit of heat to set the style as well. And the purpose of it is to look a little messy, so you don't want to make it too perfect, because then it's not cool, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Peg. Appreciate it. And if they don't have wavy hair, then it's probably going to look a little more like my hair with the disconnection and stuff. But anytime you add product and scrunch it in, you're going to get a little bit of a wave effect, especially on shorter hair. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Make it a little bigger over here. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat if you're digging it. I'm going to give you guys a full workaround on this thing. Make him go away. All right. So here's the view that personally I love. I love it from the side angle. You could see how the layering that we put through the top, how it has that kind of smooth feel. The texture comes out from the structured build of the cut. So that's another reason why I like doing the scissor part and then just going in and creating some of that texture with the razor. And then the disconnection on the top from cutting it straight across gives it that kind of overflow of hair, but it's not too disconnected. And that was the key of getting that center point on the top just right. The sides we went through with the TriRazor, love the tool for that. Obviously, like Suzanne's saying, she says the sides need more fade. That's subjective, right? So like everybody has their opinion. I like the sides a little bit more lived in. Suzanne probably wouldn't cut it this way. She would cut it with a closer fade. That's totally cool. You can. And no one tells you what to do. My goal of these classes is never to tell you exactly how to do a haircut. It's just my version of it. And I hope you guys don't just copy it and do that and not learn why you're doing everything you're doing. Hopefully you're learning why I'm doing what I'm doing, and then you can adapt it to why you would do it the way you would do it. And that's cool, and that's what makes our job super fun. So this is my version of the TikTok haircut for boys, for males. I haven't seen any females on TikTok wearing this haircut. There probably are. So I'm excited to see that as well. But this is one of the top haircuts for males on TikTok right now. All right, cool. So anybody have any questions as we finalize this class today? Zoom in. There you go. Let me give you guys another little turn here. Thank you, Suzanne. Appreciate it. Fantastic. Thank you, Jody. It's messy. It's real. It's salon reality, which I love. That's, we spend our entire day just trying to do these quick cuts, make them look good, get people on with their day. And this is one of those perfect haircuts for that. Peg, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. Gals can totally rock this. I totally agree with you, Anise. 100%. Would you do something different if the person had super straight hair? Well, if they have super straight hair, they would be like me. And that's kind of the cut that I have currently right now. So this is kind of what it would look like more. So you can see I have a ton of product in my hair, and I could scrunch it up. It's never gonna look curly. So I just kind of let it be what it is. Besides see-through, I'm not sure what it is. But is the top cut in a rectangular shape? Christos, yes, it definitely is. Can you talk about how you would do it with clippers? I can. I don't have clippers here, but clippers, I would just, I would work the sides and fade it up. So I would do, whatever length I was looking for, and then I would just work that fade. Still would not, for this style, I know that we're really into fade culture still a little bit. In my opinion, what I'm seeing the kids wearing, a lot of kids are not, I don't see it in what's popular now, wearing as many tighter fades as they are wearing. And I think it came from quarantine, like no one got haircuts, and so they had to adapt their style. So I think that's just the reality of the world we live in now. No one's getting haircuts as well. People are getting haircuts as often. People are still going to barbershops, still getting haircuts. But in a salon life, I think people have backed off a little bit and have decided to have more lived-in looks, which is kind of like this. So in my opinion, you could fade it up. I just wouldn't go too short because I like the idea of it organically still fitting all together. But you can go short if you want. All right, cool. With the clipper over comb, the sides and back, or use a clipper guard? If so, maybe a 3. Yeah, Anise, that's it. You can totally, a 3 guard would probably be a little bit shorter than what I did, but it would be similar to what his looked like. So if you look at this here, that's probably a 3, maybe a 2. So yeah, you could do clipper over comb too. I'd probably do clipper over comb before I would do a clipper guard. All right, let me make those go away. All right, cool. Any other questions? Post them in the chat real quick. As I finalize everything, if you guys get a chance, go to, let me see if this will let me, it's not gonna let me. Go to minervabeauty.com and check out everything that they have to offer. Thank you so much to them letting me be on their Facebook today promoting, salon education. That's what it's all about. They're all about it as well. When we started this quarantine thing, that was the number one thing. Actually, the owner of Minerva called me and said, we want to be as involved as possible in helping stylists out. So, that was kind of what we did. So we started doing live stuff, and I can't thank them enough for, just trying to push the industry along. That's what it's all about. So if you're looking for salon styles, different ideas for your salon, again, go to Minerva Beauty on Instagram. Like I said at the beginning, I showed you guys their page. They've just got super cool ideas, and their furniture is affordable for whether you work in a studio or you're opening a 20-chair salon, 50-chair salon. They're the people you should talk to, and they got a ton of deals. Make sure you're on our email list because we send out those deals all the time. And yeah, that's about it. Let's see. A men's video. Could you do a men's video of what to do for severe receding hairline? That's actually a really good idea, Joy. I'll work on that. Will this be saved for viewing later? Yes. You'll be able to watch it right away. These videos are always available. And like I said, I do record these. So I recorded everything I did, and I'm going to chop it up and put it out on YouTube as like a 12-minute video so you guys can see it happen quicker. Less talk, more action in that if you guys like it that way. Paulina, thank you so much. Ashley, appreciate it. Adele, would this style work on curly hair? Absolutely. This kind of is a curlier style. Even curlier, it could work. It might look a little more poppy, like on the top. It might look a little more built out, and you might have to take it in a little bit. but you could definitely do it on curly hair. All right, any other questions? Thank you guys so much. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. 80/20 Barber, you too as well. Thank you guys very much. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you all. Let me see. And that's it. Let's call it a day. Thank you guys. I'm live here every Tuesday, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you guys want to cut hair with me on Zoom, make sure you join my virtual cutting club. All you have to do is download the FSE Now app, which is available on the App Store. Sign up as a virtual cutting club member. You'll start getting the emails, the access to all the past classes, all of that. My fundamentals classes as well. You'll get access to everything. So I'd love to have you part of the club next year, 2020. It's going to be a big year. We're going to get busier and we're going to get better at doing hair. So thank you guys so much for being with me today. This busy Tuesday, hopefully before the holidays hit, and you guys have a great one. And I can't wait to see you guys next week right here, same time, same place, on whatever channel you're watching. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye. You're welcome. Thank you guys. I'll see you.